Have you ever considered that maybe reality doesn't exist? At least, not the way you think it does. What we call the physical world, matter, time, space, could just be the visible shell of something far deeper. As crazy as it sounds, science is starting to admit it. Think about this. The world you see, touch, live in might be an illusion, a mental construction designed to interpret something your brain can't access directly. The scariest part? This illusion is perfect. It's so convincing, it makes you believe you're in control, when in reality, you might just be a projection of an invisible field of information. That's right, you're not just flesh, bones, and chemistry. You are consciousness, living in a quantum simulation where the observer shapes reality itself. And if that's true, then everything you feel, think, and perceive might be the only thing that truly exists. You're about to understand why this idea is driving physicists, neuroscientists, and philosophers into obsession. And if you stick with me until the end, you'll discover something shocking. Maybe the universe isn't watching you. Maybe it's being created by you. If that twisted your mind, hit that bell, subscribe to the channel, and buckle up, because what comes next might change how you see yourself and everything around you. For over 400 years, we've been trapped in an idea that felt too obvious to question, that reality is made of matter, atoms, particles, physical things colliding and reacting, following the laws of physics like gears in some cosmic clock. But what if that's wrong? What if the physical world isn't the foundation of everything, but just the surface of something much deeper? Step by step, scientists are discovering that what truly exists may not be what you can touch, but what you experience. Quantum physics is whispering something science has tried to ignore for decades, that the world doesn't exist until you observe it, that consciousness isn't produced by the brain, but may be the very source of reality. Now breathe and think about this. Your body, with its 50 trillion cells, isn't just a pile of flesh. Each cell seems to hold not only information, but a connection to something bigger, an invisible, intelligent field that's real. A field that responds to intention, attention, and maybe even your emotional state. If this is true, the real question isn't what is the universe, it's who are you in this universe? That's what this video is about what you truly are, about what science ignores or refuses to admit, but what's been right in front of us all along. That consciousness might be the creative force behind everything, not an effect, but the cause. So tell me in the comments, do you believe consciousness can exist outside the body? Or is this all just a wild fantasy? We've been taught that reality is made of solid things. But if you ask a physicist what an atom really is, they won't say it's a tiny ball of matter. They'll tell you it's 99.99% empty space. And the rest? Probability. In other words, what you call physical reality is, at best, an illusion of solidity. The world you touch isn't made of things. It's made of possibilities collapsed by observation. Now think about this. If everything that exists is essentially non-physical, then what is real? Quantum physics dropped the first bombshell. There is no electron out there waiting to be measured. The electron only takes on a position when someone observes it. It's absurd to the rational mind, but that's what the experiments show. It's like the universe only renders when someone's watching. Like a video game. Now connect that to another discovery. There's no separation between particle and field. Particles are temporary states of an invisible field. They appear, vanish, reappear in impossible places, connected across light years. That's quantum entanglement. Einstein hated it. He called it spooky action at a distance, but today, it's fact. And more than that, this doesn't just apply to subatomic particles. It applies to you. Yes, you. You're made of those same particles. And if they are events in a field, then you are an event. A dynamic phenomenon, not a solid, fixed thing. Here comes the question that breaks everything. If what you are depends on a field, where is that field? It's not in space-time. It's not somewhere. It's deeper. It's the invisible fabric from which space-time itself emerges. This means your existence, your mind, your body, they're not separate entities. They are local expressions of a universal field. Now let's destroy another pillar of materialism, the mind. For decades, we've tried to explain consciousness as a side effect of the brain. But the deeper we look, the less we find. There's no part of the brain that generates conscious experience. We can map reactions, but we can't find the meaning behind the experience. Enter a radical hypothesis, maybe the most revolutionary of all. Consciousness isn't produced. It is fundamental. The brain? Just a receiver, a filter that translates that conscious field into local experiences, just like a radio turning invisible waves into sound. If that's true, then consciousness isn't something you own. It's something bigger, and you're just an interface. And that interface, called you, is unique. Your experience of the world is irreplaceable. No algorithm can replicate what you feel, because what you feel is quantum. It's indivisible, incomparable, and inaccessible to any external observer. This changes everything. Because if reality requires consciousness to collapse, and if consciousness is fundamental, then you are not an accident of matter. You are the collapse point where the universe becomes aware of itself. Why does this matter? Because all of our science, all of our technology, our systems, were built on a worldview that ignores consciousness. We modeled the brain as a computer. But computers don't know they exist. They process data. You feel meaning. And that's where everything falls apart. Because in the digital world, a bit is just 0 or 1. But in the quantum world, information can't be copied. It's private. It's like a feeling. It's unique, non-transferable, impossible to replicate. This explains why no machine will ever truly feel, no matter how advanced it gets. And this means that AI, no matter how well it mimics, will never be a being. So why do we keep ignoring this? Control. Classical models are predictable. You can control what you understand. But when reality starts depending on invisible, emotional, subjective forces, you lose control. And maybe that's what modern science feared the most, realizing that at the center of reality, there isn't a formula, there's an experience. Yours. Imagine this. You're dreaming. In the dream, everything feels real. Places, people, emotions. But when you wake up, you realize none of it existed physically. So, what was it? It was a reality generated from within, right? Now, what if your waking life is just another layer of the same process? The only difference is this awake dream is consistent. Physics works, gravity pulls, time flows, but who said that makes it real? It could simply be a deeper field, organizing the experience in a coherent way. And if that sounds crazy, remember this. There is no time in the quantum world. Everything happens in superposition, simultaneously. Time, space, causality, they're emergent, not fundamental. So, if everything is a field and consciousness is in that field, then reality may actually be a continuous stream of experience being collapsed by perception. Which leads us to the most disturbing idea yet. Maybe you're not living in the universe. Maybe you are the mechanism through which the universe manifests. This is why quantum computers don't work like regular machines. They don't process data linearly. They access an ocean of simultaneous possibilities and extract one reality when observed. Just like you. Your body is the hardware. Your mind is the operating system, but consciousness, it's the cosmic internet, the field connecting everything. And unlike what we thought, consciousness is not local. It's not inside the brain. It's everywhere. That would explain near-death experiences, people seeing their bodies from above, hearing doctors in other rooms, knowing facts they couldn't possibly know, all while their brains are clinically inactive. Impossible if consciousness depended on the brain. But what if the brain is just an antenna? A biochemical interface to receive and decode experience? Then death isn't the end. It's just the loss of the physical terminal. Consciousness goes on a different channel. This isn't mysticism. It aligns with quantum physics, with thousands of documented cases, and with something you felt deep down, that you are more than your body. Let's go even deeper. If all this is true, then what is free will? In a deterministic universe, it's an illusion. But in a quantum universe, where multiple futures exist until observation, free will is the mechanism by which you collapse one possibility into reality. You choose, you shape, not with logic, but with intention. And maybe that's why deep intentions, faith, fear, love, seem to affect matter, health, even events. Because they aren't just emotions. They are vectors that resonate with the field. This might also explain why you can't just explain what you feel. Because conscious experience is indivisible. It's like describing the taste of a fruit to someone who's never tasted it. You can get close, but never exact. This is the core of quantum information theory. The original state, once collapsed, can't be reproduced. Experience is unique. And if experience is consciousness, then consciousness is unrepeatable. This model flips everything, because now biology doesn't explain the mind. The mind explains biology. DNA isn't an instruction manual. It's a tuner, a receiver of frequencies from the field. And every cell is a hologram, a fragment containing the whole. Meaning, you're not inside your body. Your body is inside you, inside your field of consciousness. So what does this mean for the real world? It means systems built on separation. Politics, science, religion are outdated models. They ignore the fundamental interconnection of everything. We divided the world into me and other, body and mind, real and spiritual. But none of these are separate. When we realize that reality is relational, that the observer and the observed are part of the same field, everything changes. You stop competing and start cooperating. Not because someone told you to, but because it's the only thing that makes sense. You begin to see others as different versions of the same self, as different lenses reflecting the same light. And that's why this isn't just philosophical. It's transformational. Because when you understand that your consciousness shapes reality, you stop feeling like a victim. You become a creator. But don't get it wrong. This doesn't mean life becomes easy or magical. It means the power is within you. But using that power requires responsibility. The field doesn't respond to words. It responds to authentic frequencies, to what you vibrate, not what you pretend. And that might be the true path of consciousness, not just to wake up, but to become coherent between what you feel, what you think, and what you do. If the world around you feels like it's collapsing, maybe it's because the field is waiting for you to choose a new collapse, a new reality, a new you. But if consciousness really is this invisible field, this deep source shaping reality, then one more question emerges, maybe the most unsettling one of all. Why did we forget who we are? If you were born connected to this field, why do you feel so separate, so fragmented, so alone? Maybe the answer lies in how we were taught to see the world. Since childhood, you were told you're a body. You were given a name, an identity, a function. And somewhere along the way, you started to believe that's all you are. But what if all of that, body, name, job, roles, is just a shell, an avatar? What is the real consciousness is just watching, silently, waiting to be remembered? Maybe the pain you feel, that sense of emptiness or disconnection, isn't a mistake. Maybe it's a signal, a reminder that you're not the character. You're the field playing the game. And if that's true, then everything you've been told about limits, failures, or impossibilities collapses, because you're not a spectator of the universe. You are the universe, seeing itself from a specific point of view. And now that you know, there's only one question left. What will you create? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.